Here in Namibia's spectacular Central Highlands, I've been given a unique opportunity to see an animal kingdom being brought to life. I've arrived at the start of the wet season, and the weather has begun to put on a fantastic show.
Did you see that? I've never been in a place that has had so much electrical storm activity. Virtually every single day we're being peppered with lightning around here, and an unseasonable amount of rain.
The wet season is a crucial time for many of the park's animals. Some, like the weaver birds, take the opportunity to breed, while many game species time the birth of their young to coincide with the best grazing conditions. But recently, a severe storm had disastrous consequences for one extremely endangered animal. The reserve's archive footage shows their only pack of endangered painted or wild dogs. Just days after this was shot, the tiny population were almost wiped out.
This bush is the site of Arindi's greatest tragedy. Sheltering underneath it were 15 wild dogs that have been released and were doing really well in the reserve. Now, bushes are great for protection against rain, but they're a really bad idea when there's lightning about. And unfortunately, a bolt struck this bush and killed 13 of the 15 dogs lying underneath it.
The dogs that survived are now part of a great success story. In the southern corner of the reserve, next to the park's headquarters, a series of large enclosures have been specifically built to house a captive breeding program. Joined by dogs brought in from outside the park, these enclosures are now home to 20 individuals being bred for eventual release back into the wild. And they're extremely special because these are one of Africa's rarest animals, with as few as 5,000 left in the wild.
These are one of my favourite species in the park. They're beautiful animals, really interesting. They've had their tragedies with the population in the last few years, but the breeding programme's going really well now. So if we can get a few more dogs paired up together, hopefully the population will bloom. That's if we can catch them.
The enclosure I'm heading for contains 6 individuals, and I'm teaming up with game manager Ruin Klurter to catch 2 of them. The idea is to create a second pack from this new breeding pair.
So do you know which ones you want to get today?
It doesn't really matter. I want a nice big male and a female that's old enough to breed, and we'll see how it goes.
Okay. What happens if you get the youngsters in here and they start chewing on the meat? How are you going to get them out again?
We'll just jerk a bit on the gate, and hopefully they'll run away.
Oh yeah, because as a species they're always a little bit nervous, aren't they? So,
yeah, it's always difficult to work with wild animals, so you can't predict anything, but we'll try.
Because these dogs are so nervous, we have to move outside the enclosure so they'll head for the bait in the trap.
So you're just going to wait till the right dog's in the
I'm going to wait for the male and the female to be near to the gate, and then I'm going to open.
The dogs haven't been fed for several days, so they'll be hungry. Within minutes, 2 dogs take the bait. And it's the male and female we're after.
Oh, great. Excellent. First catch.
But then, something we hadn't bargained for. The rest of the pack mount a rescue mission.
Now, you didn't plan for that. These are very clever dogs. They've obviously worked out how this trap works. We could have very easily lost them then.
Thankfully, the two adults remain safely in the trap. Now for the tricky task of getting the trap out of the enclosure.
We've had to call in reinforcements. Obviously putting the cage in is one thing, but getting it out again is going to be even more difficult because there's now meat in there and two dogs inside it. So these guys are going to try and keep the dogs away from us while we lift that cage up and get it on board.
Although these painted dogs are only the size of a large domestic dog, they're still wild predators, and the power of their bite compared to their size is greater than almost any other carnivore.
With domestic dogs, I don't normally carry one of these, but if you look at the build, long, thin legs for very fast running, but look at the size of the head looks too big, and that's because it's incredibly powerful. They've got lots of jaw muscles there to be able to rip the prey apart, so you don't want to be nipped by one of these guys. All right, I know.
While our helpers keep the rest of the dogs at bay, we carefully move in.
You can see they're very nervous. They don't like being this close and trapped now, so got to be very careful. Get your fingers in between those wires and you can lose your fingers. All right. Okay? All right. Okay. Steady, 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 steady.
Just minutes later, we're underway, heading for the new enclosure a couple of miles to the east. It's a great privilege for me to help out with these critically endangered animals.
Lower down, lower. Okay, you want to do the release?
Oh, I'd love to.
Just be careful of your fingers.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Have fun on your new home. It'll take a bit of time to get used to, but I'm sure they'll settle in fine.
Right.
Job done.
Great.
So now it's just up to them.
Yep. I must do the rest.
Yes.
Hopefully at the end we'll have a good pack that we can release.
And wild dogs is all about numbers, isn't it? In terms of if there's plenty of them, they're more likely to be able to secure a kill and then look after it and protect it against other hyenas and lions and such.
Definitely, they survive better the more they are.
Arundi have had such a difficult time with their dogs, and it's quite sad to see them in cages, but this is an important breeding programme. If we can get their numbers up, we can get them back out into the wild where they belong.
If this pair breed, they'll start a new pack that can one day be released into the wild. Once again, the painted dog will be roaming free on this incredible reserve. Coming up, I meet the reserve's most famous mother and her cubs.
I've seen more leopards today than I've seen in many, many, many times in the bush.
And we try to trap Houdini, the park's most elusive male leopard.
As he puts his feet down, he's trapped.
In the Central Highlands of Namibia, I've joined a team of experts who observe and protect the Arundi Reserve's wild inhabitants. It's incredible to think that just a few years ago, this fantastic wilderness was home to cattle ranching and hunting. Back then, many of the reserve's game animals remained in small numbers, although they were seen in a very different light.
It's amazing to think that even when this place was farmland, their sort of pest species, where we would be worried about some rabbits and stuff, they're giraffe and oryx.
It's hard to imagine these animals as unwanted, but now the park's grazing animals are thriving. Over 400 giraffe, herds of springbok, oryx, zebra, and a large variety of antelopes. All food for one of the world's most adaptable but secretive predators, the leopard. I've joined expert Natasha Dvorinin to help with a world-renowned leopard study. I hope to see a unique leopard she's been following since its birth. This is Honey, a 3-year-old female who's wearing a radio collar that transmits a signal letting Natasha know where she is, so there's a good chance we can find her. From our vantage point, high on a rocky outcrop, we can see Honey's territory. We've picked up more than her radio signal.
Well, the good news is that the elevation has allowed us to pinpoint where the local leopards are, but also some lions, and they're only just down here. And that's the thing about being out in this country, is that they could be anywhere. And these are the ones that we know are here because they've got radio collars on. There are plenty more without.
Other predators aren't the only problem. Recent heavy rain has caused the vegetation to explode into life. So even though we've pinpointed Honey's location, it will still be hard to see her.
They're right here.
Yeah, okay.
We just can't see them.
Yeah, that's true. This grass is good, I know it's good, but it also makes life very difficult.
We know she's close by, and she has 2 young male cubs. And what's even more exciting is that if we can find them, this will be the first time they've ever been filmed. Suddenly, Honey appears.
Tree.
There we go. Oh, yes. Look at that.
Then Ledwood, one of her 8-month-old cubs.
So we've seen one of the cubs here.
Yep.
Now, where's the other one likely to be? In this area, obviously there's stick together, like glued still.
Yes, although the one cub, the one that we've seen, is very brave. Very, very brave, and he tends to come out and have a look at the vehicles. The other cub, as the vehicles come in, the other cub tends to run away.
Right.
And disappears for 1 hour, even 2 hours at a time.
Oh, okay.
While the other one hangs about and Mom hangs about. And when Honey starts getting frustrated that the other cubs are missing, she'll start calling it.
Right.
Having spent almost every day of her life with Natasha, Honey is incredibly relaxed, a sign of their extraordinary bond.
Oh, you know what? That's the other cub. That's the shy one. Yeah.
Then, incredibly, her second cub, Imberbe, emerges from the long grass. Getting this close to a leopard mother and her cubs is an awe-inspiring experience, and a dangerous one. Despite her relationship with Natasha, Honey is still a deadly predator.
Oh, bit of playing.
Cubs are playing.
But Honey's sons are the real reason why we're here. Only a handful of male leopards have ever been tracked since birth, and these two offer Natasha and her team a unique opportunity.
It's great that you've found these guys, because you've got lots of females, collared, but what about males? That's the missing part of the story.
This is definitely the missing part of the story, and it's fantastic that we've found and that we've got these youngsters so that we can collar them and find out exactly what happens in their lives. How long does it take for them to go independent? How long do they wander around before they establish territory? How far do they go? We have so far collared 6 young males.
Okay.
They have such a hard life. But of all the cats, we've managed to keep all our females except one. The males, we keep losing somehow or another.
So these 2 boys, if you can follow them from this point, because you were here right at the start, then how long do they live, males? If they do well, nobody knows.
I tell you what, brilliant question. And if anybody tells you, I think they might be potentially lying.
Yeah.
Okay. No, the wrong words. But I've never had the opportunity to follow a male from the day he was born till the day he died.
Oh,
Numerous females, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
But never a male because they move so far. They might be born here, they get used to our vehicles here.
Yep.
And over the 4 or 5 years that they wander before they establish a territory, you lose them. It could be 500 kilometers or more. So if we can keep track of these boys, they're going to be a huge key to our whole study and what we're trying to do here.
I've seen more leopards today than I've seen in many, many, many times in the bush. They're so hard to see.
That's something very, very special.
In a few months, Natasha will radio collar these unique cubs. But Honey's sons are not the only males she's monitoring. Some of the reserve's male leopards have been collared, but for years she's been on the trail of one particular adult that she believes could be Honey's mate. A rare sighting of this huge leopard called Houdini on the northern edge of Honey's territory has raised Natasha's hopes. He's never been collared, and this could be her opportunity to catch him.
Natasha's got a really good handle on the female leopards in this area, but those big males are still eluding her, and she needs to know how they're utilising this habitat. The information she is getting is from things like sightings or footprints, but thankfully, she's got a plan.
In a small, dry riverbed, Natasha's found some tracks.
We've got a male or a number of males moving down this drainage line in this exact spot, and that's why we've come up with the next plan, of which we are going to try and set a cage trap
to get the
to
male.
learn out.
So once you've got your male, you'll collar him, and then you'll be able to follow exactly where he's going.
Exactly, and literally this entire population is like a puzzle.
Yeah.
There are lots of little pieces in this puzzle, and they fit together perfectly. Every piece of the puzzle makes understanding the population a whole bunch better.
So far you've done really well with the females. You've got their overlapping territories, you've got all their cubs and everything else. So the final piece for you really is that male that wanders over the whole thing.
Absolutely, and I'm sure there's probably 3 or 4 males, possibly even 5 males over the 70,000 hectares that we are trying to work on. It's not a lot, but they are so clever.
Yeah.
They seem to outsmart us every time.
Just in case you haven't worked out what's going to happen, we're basically going to wait for our big male to walk in here, get inside this cage. There's meat hung up here, and as he puts his feet down, he's trapped. And if you're worried about his big bushy tail, don't be. Each end has got this gap here, so it won't get caught. And I guess it's going to be whipped in pretty soon once he hears that noise. And then we just have to turn up in the morning and hope that he's still in.
The next part of the plan is to bait the trap.
All right, so what we need to do is push it through that one if possible. Actually, that's fine.
Is that okay?
Then I have to ask you to help me hold it.
Okay.
Sorry. Do you feel like you're doing your afternoon gym session?
Heavy, smelly thing. Not
Insult
getting
to your
lighter.
senses.
Yeah. Oh, some days I love my job.
And other days?
Yeah.
With the trap set, the final task is to rig a camera so we can see what visits overnight.